Hey everyone, welcome. So have you ever spent a ton of money on some amazing speakers, got them home, plugged them in, and then they just sound meh? Well, if that's you, you are in the right place. We're going to break down why your room is actually the biggest and most overlooked part of your sound system. And, more importantly, why most of us try to fix it in a completely backwards way.
Okay, let's just jump right in with the single most important idea for today. Our source material gives us this absolutely perfect analogy. Think about it. Acoustic treatment, things like absorption panels and bass traps, that's the foundation of your house. And tuning, using an equalizer or DSP, that's like the paint, the furniture, the decor. You've got to build the house before you can decorate it, right?
And that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? What happens when you try to decorate before the foundation is even poured? Well, when you jump straight to tweaking your EQ without dealing with the room itself, you're pretty much trying to hang a picture frame in thin air. It's just not going to work. And today, we're going to see exactly why.
So, our first huge problem really has nothing to do with volume. It's all about time. It's a super common mistake to think you can fix any audio issue by just cranking a frequency up or down on an EQ. But the actual physics of a room, they are way, way more complicated than that.
So what am I even talking about here? Well, I'm talking about reflections. Imagine this. Sound shoots out of your speaker and hits your ears directly. But it also shoots out and bounces off your hard walls, your ceiling, your floor. All those bounced sound waves arrive at your ears just a few milliseconds later. And that tiny delay? It smears the original sound, destroying the clarity. That sharp, punchy snare drum hit? It just turns into a muddy thud.
And this right here lays it all out. On the left, you see the trap we all fall into, trying to use an equalizer to fight a physical echo. But listen, you just can't use a volume knob to tell a sound wave, hey, stop bouncing off that wall. It doesn't work that way. The only real fix is over on the right. Physical treatment. An absorption panel literally soaks up that sound energy before it even gets a chance to bounce back at you. Problem solved at the source.
Okay, let's get into our next big trap. And this one is seriously weird and counterintuitive. It's a phenomenon where adding more sound can actually create less sound. Yeah, you heard me right. It's called phase cancellation. Here's how this crazy thing works. Sound travels in waves, right? With peaks and valleys. Now what happens if the peak of a sound wave coming straight from your speaker meets the valley of a wave that's bounced off the back wall? They literally cancel each other out. And the result? Right where you're sitting, that specific frequency just vanishes. It creates what we call a null, a total dead spot in the sound.
So here's the really crucial part. You notice that null, that hole in the bass, and you think, I'll just fix it with my EQ. You boost that frequency by, let's say, 10 decibels. Well, guess what? You just made the reflection 10 decibels louder too. The two waves are still perfectly out of sync, and they still cancel each other out. You see the problem? The only real way to fix this is to use something like a bass trap to absorb that reflected wave so it can't cause the cancellation to begin with.
And here's the painful result of trying to fight that battle. You are just forcing your poor amplifier to work way harder, you're pushing your speakers to their absolute limits, and you're dumping all this wasted energy into the room for absolutely no audible improvement where you're sitting. It's a total waste.
And this is the bottom line. Zero. A big, fat zero. That is the effective change you get from trying to fight a phase null with an equalizer. All that work, all that strain on your expensive gear, for nothing. It is a battle you simply cannot win with EQ. All right, on to the third major problem, and this one is all about the liveness or the ring of a room. Basically, it's about how long a sound decides to hang around in the air after your speaker has stopped making it. The technical term for this is reverberation time, or RT60. Just think about clapping your hands in a big, tiled bathroom versus a small walk-in closet full of clothes. In the bathroom, that clap echoes and rings out for a long time, right? That's a long RT60. And in audio, when that decay time is too long, individual notes just bleed into each other, and everything turns into a muddy, chaotic mess. And you guessed it, EQ is the wrong tool for this job, too. You can use an equalizer to turn down a frequency's volume, sure, but you can't change the laws of physics that dictate how long that sound wave is going to keep bouncing around your room. The only way to shorten that decay time is to use soft, absorptive materials that literally soak up that sound energy, making your music sound tight, clean, and controlled. So, we've looked at reflections, we've looked at phase cancellation, and we've looked at decay time.
And you know what? It all brings us to one simple, incredibly powerful rule for getting amazing sound in any room.
Let's just quickly recap the big problems with that tuning-first approach. As we've seen, EQ settings are super specific to one spot. You move your head 6 inches to the left and it all sounds wrong. Why? Because you're creating this teeny tiny little sweet spot. You aren't fixing the underlying physics of the room, you're just waging a losing war against them.
But here's the beautiful part. When you use acoustic treatment, you're not just fixing the sound for one magic chair. No, you are improving the acoustic response of the entire room. And that makes the sweet spot so much larger. So now, more people can actually sit down and enjoy great sound, not just the one person in the perfect spot.
And that, my friends, brings us to the golden rule. If you remember one thing from all of this, let it be this. Ready? Treat the room to fix the physics, tune the system to fix the flavor. You use physical treatment to solve the big physical problems first. Then, and only then, do you use your EQ for the final, subtle, creative polishing.
So what does this actually look like? It's a dead simple 2-step process. Step 1, fix the physics. Get some absorption, some diffusion, some bass traps in your room. Step 2, fix the flavor. Now that your room is working with you, not against you, now you can use your equalizer for those small final tweaks to get the sound just right for your taste.
And let me tell you, the payoff for doing it this way is absolutely huge. You're going to find that tuning is suddenly fast and easy because you're not fighting a losing battle anymore. Your equipment is going to run so much more efficiently because it's not wasting power on impossible tasks. And most importantly, the sound is going to be so much more clear, balanced, and just natural. So I'll just leave you with this one final thought. Take a good, honest look at your own system. Think about those settings on your equalizer and just ask yourself, is my EQ fighting a battle against my room's physics that it can never, ever win? Or is it adding that final, perfect touch of polish to a room that already sounds fantastic? The answer to that question is going to change everything. Thanks for joining me.